Welcome to your weekly channeled inspiration and your oracle guidance for the week of October 18th through the 24th. Today is October 19th. I'm running a little late because I get to spend my mom's 80th birthday with her as a surprise for her birthday party. So just coming a little late this week, but that's okay. So every week I go live Mondays to give you a weekly channeled inspiration and 3-card oracle guidance for the week. It's prescriptive, not predictive, and it just helps you have a little more information for the week, so where you can respond to your life versus reacting to it. And so it's this week's Hi Tamara. It's great to have you here. Anybody who's here, please just go ahead and say hello. Would love to have you. Hi, Lori. Welcome. I'm really excited to be able to share this message with you today because I think it's so pertinent. You know, I was meditating before I do these lives, and the message that came through was release the need to hold on to old stories. Now, old stories get caught in our body, they get caught in our cells, in our DNA, and it ends up creating patterns for us, and we continue to repeat those patterns. And the message about releasing the need of holding on to old stories of resentment and anger and victimhood or anything that we might be holding on to is because when the event occurred, we had limited information. We only had the information in which we experienced it in that moment. So if you had some trauma as a child, then you're holding a story around those experiences as a child, and you had limited information. But if you were to step into your higher self today and be able to look back at the circumstances, no matter what they may be, there's additional information there to help release the need to hold on to those stories. For example, I'm just going to give you a quick example. I think I used this example last week, but or I could even use an example this week. So, you know, a story could be that for me, I traveled on Saturday and I was in regular class on the airport, in the airplane. And that's just where I fly. I just usually fly just because it's the most cost effective and it makes more sense to me. And you know, when I was on the plane, I could have been thinking, well, that's where I belong. I don't belong in first class. I don't belong somewhere else. I could totally have that story in my head because of maybe because I would have old stories that I was carrying, old stories that my parents might be carrying, or just how we live frugally and don't spend too much money on ourselves. It could be any kind of story and I'm giving you this broader example because I just experienced this, and it could also be a traumatic experience, but I've shared those in other videos. You can go back to last week and listen to the video that I had last week. But so, you know, as I was sitting there, I had this little voice say, go ahead and go up to the flight attendant and ask her if you could move up to the aisle seat because there was no one in front of me. And it was really just one seat ahead of me. And my head said, well, you don't need to do that. You can just sit where you are. It's only one seat in front of you. It's not a big deal. It's only a 2-hour flight, hour and a half flight. So it's fine. But then I heard it again and I ignored it again. And then I heard it a third time. And I said, okay, I'm going to just go up to the flight attendant and ask if I could just move up to the front seat, the seat in front of me. And I did that. And she said, well, there's supposed to be people there. I said, okay, no problem. There's no worries. I can do that. It's fine. I just thought I'd ask. And if no one comes, maybe I could. And she goes, well, let's see what happens. So I go back to my seat. I start journaling and I don't pay any attention. But then I see in my mind's eye me sitting in first class. And I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? And I became curious about that. And I became like, wouldn't that feel nice to be in that nice big cushy seat and just have a little more space and be able to sprawl out a little more? And sure enough, the flight attendant comes back and says, Miss L, would you like to just grab your stuff and come with me, please? And she put me in first class. So My point is, when you're living in the moment, you're allowing yourself to think a little differently than the old stories that you might be telling yourself. There are new possibilities. It's infinite possibilities. And if you're in the flow of life, you allow those new and better things to come along, the or betters to come along for you. So I hope that's a good example for you to, really examine how you're looking at any story you might be telling yourself. It could be a story about someone that you know that might have treated you badly at some point in your life. And if you're able to go up above and from your higher perspective and look back onto the experience, what else might have been occurring at the time that you were in that experience? And really, did it have as much to do with you as you thought it did? Please just go ahead and share in the comments what you might think about that message or how that might have touched you. I would love to know what you think on that. I know where this is going. You got first class. That's right, Tamara. You're right. I did get first class. So today we're using Sacred Rebel for your 3-card message. I'm just going to draw that now. Please show us what we need or you'd like us to know through these cards for the week. And don't forget, this week is a full moon. Tomorrow night's a full moon. So if there's anything that you'd like to release from your energy, from something that you're holding on to, you can always really do a full moon ceremony and release it tomorrow evening. Please show us what we need or you'd like us to know through these cards. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oops. Gotta grab that one. Actually, there were 2, so we're not going to use those. Show us what we need. You'd like us to know. Oh, that one, 2 again. So I think those are the 2 that we want to take. Shock of the new and new birth, guarded vigilantly. Interesting. Going beyond the normal. Okay, shock of the new. So it appears like you might have some shocking information this week that you might be receiving. You might, it kind of goes to the channeled message. There may be a shocking experience that you're like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it from that perspective. And you're thinking about an old story where you might be carrying it in your body, and there's a shocking experience of like, wow, there could be more information that's there. And the new birth, it's full moon. You have an opportunity to have new birth and going beyond the normal. I'm just going to put them all up together here because it makes sense to me. The shocking news, the new birth, and going beyond the normal. To me, this message for the 3 of them together is that if you go within, you can find new information and you have a new way of living. You don't have to live in the limiting story that your head is telling you, because there's always more information that is there for you to receive. So allow yourself to receive some of that. Allow yourself to go into meditation, whoops, my cat. Go into meditation. Do some journaling and just release the old story. Start writing down the story. And then as you start writing down the story, ask the question, what is it that I might be missing here? Is there more information? Even write it down. Even write down that question. Is there more information that I'm missing? And then as you go along, start to answer that. Start to see that there might be something more for you. So going beyond the normal, it means there's more information. That golden light bulb here, it's like the aha moment, the ability to receive something that you haven't received in the past. So I hope these messages find you well. Next week, I will be in an ayahuasca ceremony all week long. So I will have a recorded message up. So look for the recorded message on Monday, October 25th. And I'll see you live the following week. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, and please share your experience here on the video when you get a moment. Take care.